Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Mechavellum game review. As we go over a really interesting game with some of the new patches involved. And before we go in there, really quick shout out to the first STL Mechavellum tournament with over $150 prize pool coming up this weekend. 32 slots. There's still a couple of slots open. If you want to get that, sign up quickly because they are closing. And yeah, really looking forward to it. All being played on Saturday, all live streamed on Twitch. And yeah, let's go into this lovely game, as there's something here that is really strong, I believe, and that is the new starting specialist here. Heavy armor specialist, 17% extra hit point. It allows for a lot of cool combinations, and sledgehammers, you already saw them a couple of times lately on my channel, and I believe they are the best just pure hit point tank that you can get in the earlier stages of the game, and that they also scale pretty well into the late game. Combining those with 15% more hit points, really strong. Enemy plays something that can deal pretty decently with marksman, that also can deal with stacked sledgehammers somewhat decently here with Arclight Stormcallers. And I wasn't sure what the third unit would be on the enemy side, so I wanted to use my early money. By the way, I don't know why this is not always staying on if you clicked it. Yeah, so I decided to go for Fangs. Here. And then marksman. I invested into more marksman though, because I wanted to see what the enemy units are. Just wanted to make sure that I had those Fangs available to me if the need would arise, like if the enemy would have went for steel balls or something like that. They went for giant specialists there, so yeah, if the enemy goes for melting points or so, Fangs could be helpful there as well. They didn't though, and my marksman here do pretty good damage, and the extra hit points here are already paying off. This sledgehammer, for example, wouldn't have survived the salvo, wouldn't have drawn another salvo on top of it, so I wouldn't have been able to deal with these Stormcallers as well as I did here. And yeah, Stormcallers not winning this fight, so getting in the first bit of damage here. Intensive training this early on, super strong. Enemy goes for decreased crawlers, obviously, as they already have crawlers. That makes sense as well, but I go for intensive training. Use it here on my sledgehammers. Having level 2 sledgehammers means that I have fewer points though, so yeah, I go for more marksman, and I go for wasps because yeah, you have seen that I really like that build. If the enemy would have brought up a combination that is weak against that, I also would have those available to me, and nothing did shoot up on the enemy's baseline here. The Arclights have the anti-air upgrade here, so I'm a bit cautious, because obviously with anti-air, they're pretty strong against wasps, so I didn't want to go jump into that directly, so that's why I only unlocked them, but I didn't bought them yet. Going with the sledgehammers and marksman instead. As the enemy invested into more crawlers though, a third crawler pair, my sledgehammers didn't have enough AoEs with only 2 of them, so I got overrun here pretty hard, quite a bit of damage, way more damage than I would have liked to take this early on in the game. As we go into heavy armor here, speed could be interesting as well, but I believe more so for my opponent than for me. Yeah, so I thought a bit over this, but I decided on heavy armor in the end here as well, as the enemy went for heavy armor. But speed to get closer here into my ranged units, to get their crawlers on top of me, and to get quicker onto my turrets when they break through on one side, could have been an idea. The Mustangs here, I don't quite get why they got them. Maybe they expected wasps, maybe they know my YouTube channel or something, but yeah, the instant Mustang here against sledgehammers felt weird. But yeah, I went for wasps because the lineup beforehand only had 2 marksmen in there, and they don't do anything. But my sledgehammers here pretty tanky, really great missile though. Sledgehammers without upgrades yet, taking away, and without the sledgehammers in the front line. The rest of my line here obviously crumbles within seconds. And that's a really strong rush here. The enemy here for sure going for some early damage. And in the fight here, obviously the Mustangs destroying wasps without sledgehammers in front of them. My left side here doing somewhat okay, but still having issues as well. As my sledgehammers get some damage through. But I know I need more tankiness now. I overinvested into damage dealer units there. A lot of marksmen, a good 2 wasps there. and I lack things that do damage. And here I go for this classic supply. Turn 4, absolutely fine. 50 extra income there. All a couple of turns, quite nice. I have intensive care up here again, so I invest into new sledgehammers. Instantly level them up. Give them damage sharing, because no steel balls are so on the enemy side yet. And I have them level 2 already, so even if they go into steel balls after they realize I took damage sharing, that still won't help them much, because then my sledgehammers will be level 2, level 3 already, and I can kill them quickly. So yeah, that's why I take it now, once my sledgehammers start to level a bit, because I know I have the front line to deal with steel balls most likely, before they can get too close and deal too much damage to me. Wasps in the rear, flying around. Mustangs though, pretty annoying that the enemy went into that, not gonna lie. That was a bit of a surprise and a nasty one at that. But now the 17% really start to kick in. With damage sharing, you will see these tanks now take a lot of damage to kill. Which obviously is really nice for my Mustangs behind. And yeah, crawlers against this many sledgehammers now get pretty easily melted away as well. And then so do the Mustangs. But my marksmen here obviously stay behind, stay cool, and then can deal with the real line pretty well. And yeah, even the enemy marksmen here really starting to struggle to kill off my sledgehammers. As the 17% really means that they take a good couple of extra seconds to take out, a good couple of extra shots, and that's a massive problem. That is a massive problem here. The 17% extra can be really, really devastating. Here now we have the choice for Giant Killer, and I expected melting points, so I went for that. Enemy went for barrier, so that's good for us as well, because that's obviously a giant thing. So yeah, being able to deal with that is nice. Enemy goes for tanky fortresses. Not something I'm against either, because that's another thing that my Giant Hunter will work against. Well, yeah, having some wasps on the flanks, having a lot of marksmen here. Wasps just an extra unit behind, because enemy before that really, yeah, AA was there, but especially in the middle it was still missing. And the wasps are just really good damage dealer. Like if they all get in there and start dealing the damage, they deal a lot. Plus they're good against the marksman, keeping the marksman maybe busy. Yeah, Mustangs obviously a bit of an issue. But as you can see, the Mustangs come in, start firing at the tanks, and as the tanks don't die, they keep firing at the tanks. Whilst my wasps can fly forward, can deal some damage. The fortress with the upgrade here, really tanky, really annoying, but so are my sledgehammers. And my sledgehammers just won't start dying. Sadly, yeah, so their fortress takes a long while to take out as well. Second fortress up here refuses to die, and then if my frontline dies, I'm super vulnerable. The enemy Stormcallers against my marksman obviously really strong, and I'm going pretty close here, going pretty low, but I know the extra hit points here will be pretty nice. Here, hard choices. Enemy goes for the battleship. I go for 30% extra damage because I struggled to kill off the enemy fortress. But with 30% extra, it shouldn't be a problem. Sledgehammers here really going up high levels. I go for the repair now because the fights took quite a while last engagement, and with the repairs I believed I wouldn't struggle super much on keeping these guys alive for long enough that the fight actually then gets decided by the marksman. Obviously, issue is no upgrades on the marksman in regards of elite marksmanship this turn, so I will also really have to chew through the enemy for a while there. Yeah, crawlers, I believe because I had low money, and I wanted to annoy the fortresses, wanted to keep the Stormcallers busy. Enemy going for Vulcan here came as a bit of a shock, a bit of a surprise there. Enemy Overlord down there, quite interesting choice as well, and we go into the action where we have healing level 4 tanks, no steel bolts, no melting points, so that was fantastic. Yeah, the enemy down here getting hit by the sledgehammers, my wasps keeping the attention. Up north, the marksman doing a good job, and as you can see, the sledgehammer is just not dying anymore, as the damage output, the DPS on the Vulcan and especially on the Fortress is not high enough. Like, the Fortress has good damage per hit, and if it can kill something with that, that's fantastic. if they take out a tank per shot, but thanks to damage sharing, that's not happening. And then their overall DPS, thanks to a slow rate of fire, is not that great, like taking their points, their point cost into account. Here, we obviously can take the 30% extra rate points, really nice on all the sledgehammers, and on top of the 17% we already have, means that our sledgehammers are insanely tanky, so we can just focus on damage behind it. Marksman now finally getting the level upgrade that they need to really do some damage. Wasps there in the rear keep on being the damage dealers. That's the enemy. Goes here for the photon coating. Quite scary as well. But yeah, the intensive training really doing a good job. And now that the enemy lost their ability to call in the Overlord, their frontline should be weaker. As they invest though, trying to get the money, as they obviously also know points are really close. 428 to 1574. One big swing here can end it, and I also have the giant killer, so in the long run I will have the better economy. Plus I invest into a bit fewer statics. So here we go, absolute slaughter here down south. None of these tanks ever got somewhat damaged. Same in the south, north here. A lot of strong tanks still moving on. And yeah, the extra hit points here making these abilities even stronger. Field maintenance and so on, making these guys just absolutely unkillable. Like, the enemy didn't have terrible damage. They had marksmen, they had stormcallers, they had fortresses and so on. All of this stuff hitting ground and hitting it relatively hard, but they just didn't get the kill here. And yeah, marksman coming in. And we're at a point where this could nearly be fatal. And it absolutely is. So, yeah. Enemy got me close there. The rush strategy was strong, especially the one missile here. I took way more damage than I should have had. I should have predicted that to some degree and maybe at least combine the hit points or so. But in general, a really enjoyable game here and a good show of how to use the heavy armor specialist, I believe. And yeah, let me know down below what you think about the heavy armor specialist. Do you think it is one of the strongest? Is it overrated? What do you think? I really enjoyed it. I hope to see it a lot in the tournament. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next one. And bye-bye, and have a great day.